How's it going, guys? It's your boy Fix It Daniel, and today we're going to be on the Pontiac Vibe. We are going to be replacing its transmission filter and oil as well. It needs to be done. It's been long since it's been ever been changed, probably, but we're going to keep the preventive maintenance up by changing it out. So, without further ado, welcome guys to the channel. If you guys have not checked out my videos, please go down, check them out. Hopefully it'll help you out with something that you have for your vehicle and help you work on it yourself. But today we're going to be on the 2010 Pontiac Vibe or a 2010 Toyota Matrix. These are completely identically the same. The transmission and the motor and everything are the same. The only difference is one's a Pontiac and the other one's a Toyota, but they are pretty much the same. It works for both. So today we're going to be working on this one. We're going to be changing it out. The transmission filter and oil is pretty dirty. It was my mother-in-law's car. It has close to 200,000 miles and don't know when it's been changed, but I like to keep the preventive maintenance up. So instead of us guessing how long it's been changed or when it's been changed, we're going to go ahead and change it. So we got everything we need to get. So let's go to the table and I'm going to show you guys what we got. Okay, guys, so we come to the Fix It table. So today we are going to be changing out the transmission transmission filter, and we have some fluid. So we'll dive into this. So we've had this for a while. I've bought this, I think before summertime. I had on my head to do this and I just hadn't gotten around to it, but now we are finally getting to it. It definitely needs to be done. I just don't know how long the transmission has been changed, and it may never have been, who knows. But to take the guess out, we're just going to go ahead and do it. So we have a filter, we have a new cork gasket that's supposed to go on it, and then we have the gasket for the top here, and then we have this new crush washer that goes on the actual drain plug. And if you guys are wondering what it is this right here, transmission fluid filler kit, and there is the number. I believe the number is this one right here, or it could be this one, but I think it's this one. So this is ProTune transmission kit. I can't remember where I got this from. Like I said, I've had this for a while. I want to say I got it from eBay or Amazon. I cannot remember. But like I said, I've had this for a bit. But we are going to get into it. I'll try to see if I can research it and see if I can find and I can put it down in the link in the description. And then we're going to use this. So we're going to use this Castrol CTSV Universal. As you see, it's good for GMs, Toyotas. Since this is a CVT transmission, I figured I kind of stayed with it. There is a typical oil that goes for this. I think it's a ATF-WS. You can get it from the dealerships, but it's really expensive. I don't know if this has been consistent or not, but this oil works fine. I got this from Walmart. Didn't pay too much for it, but it works. Looks like it's going to work really good. You can look on the back. You can read all the descriptions. Make sure that it is for your transmission. Try to stay close to it as much as you can. Try not to deviate and just throw any kind of transmission fluid in there. Don't go to the store and buy the cheapest one you can, and it's not the right kind, because if you get the wrong kind, you could mess up the transmission. This is pretty close to staying to what the transmission is asking for. So you can always look in your owner's manual as well. If you're not really for sure, don't just go on. If you're not for sure, if you go to Google and you can't figure it out which one it is, go to your owner's manual. Your owner's manual will tell you exactly what kind of transmission fluid that you need. So that's what we did in there, but the transmission fluid was really expensive from the dealership, and I kind of needed it done today, and I didn't really have time to go to the dealership to go get it if they have it or not have it, and it was quite expensive. This is not that much, and this is a gallon. This is more than what I need because it doesn't take that much to fill up this transmission, so we should be good to go. So yes, guys, it's always a good idea to make sure you get the right transmission fluid. Like I said before, don't just go grab any old transmission fluid. Yes, in a pinch, if you were stranded, if you were somewhere where they didn't have your actual fluid, you could get away with just pouring any old transmission fluid in there. By being that said, if you get back to where you can get the right fluid, then you just immediately change that out. That's one of those rule of thumbs. It's the same thing with oil. If you don't have the right oil that you need, you could get away with just using some other kind of oil just to get you by, to get you where you need to get the right one. So it will take it. It's not going to probably mess it up right away, but if you leave it longer than what you have it in there for, it could mess something up. So just rule of thumb, check your owner's manual. And if you don't have an owner's manual, you can either go online and Google it with your, year, make, and model, and what kind of car you have. Or if you're not really for sure, you can call your dealership and they can tell you exactly what needs to go into it if they have the information. But just get it as close as you can get it to the original one. Like I said, the original one's going to be expensive. The dealership's going to have it, or you can order online, but it might take a while to get there. And if you don't have time, then find some kind of other alternative transmission that is close to the original one. I think he'll be fine. If it was warranty, I would try to stick with what the transmission in the manual or the dealership or whatever is calling for, especially if it's under warranty, because you don't want to mess anything up. This car is not under warranty. It's almost 200,000 miles and it's a 2010. I'm sure the warranty has been gone. So I have the ability to put whatever kind of transmission I feel comfortable putting in. So I'm sticking with the CVT because it is a CVT transmission. So I think that'll work just fine. I did try to stick close to what it is required. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get everything set up so that way we can get this transmission fluid out. Okay guys, so now we got it secure on jack stands. Just as you can see, they're on jack stands. Just make sure that they're nice and solid by hitting the corners nice and solid. So just if this is your first time really doing a transmission refill or filter change at all, I'm gonna show you guys. So right here is your dipstick for your transmission fluid. Pull this and lift. And as you see, there it is. And as you see, we're going to change it because it's no longer red. I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not because I'm wiggling. There it is. It's no longer red, as you can see. So, and I don't know how long it's been changed. So we're just going to change it. Not worry about it. Just figure it out. So let's get under here. So here is your oil. Here's your transmission. Really quite simple. There's a little hex head nut right there, and then here's all of your nuts right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to drain it, and then once we get it kind of drained as much as we can, put the drain plug back on, and then we'll start cracking these off, and then we'll get an oil pan to catch it all, obviously, and then we'll go from there. So as you see, they're all the way across, from the front to the back. Really easy to get to. This isn't even in your way. I think you should be fine. And then we'll just get that cracked, then we should be good to go. So let me get my tool, and then we should be able to get that cracked off. Okay guys, so we are ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start getting this off this drain plug. So this drain plug takes one of these little hex head little sockets. This one's 3/8 into a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna go ahead and crack it loose. All right, just like that, nice and easy. Oil's gonna come out instantaneously, no big deal. Oof, that is black like coffee. So it's a good thing we're changing it out. we need to change it. So that's a perfect time to do it. So we'll let this drain out. Get my towel. All right, so we're gonna let that drain out a little bit. Look, it's getting there. There's still gonna be probably some in the pan, so when we cracking it, it's gonna probably start coming. It's already gonna start coming out, probably on this end since I got the elevation up like that. So we'll let that drain out a little bit, and then we'll move the pan to where in the position so we can get up all this fluid. But yeah, that's pretty dark. I don't know how long it's been changed. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I could ask my mother-in-law, but she may not know. So it's just better just to go ahead and just change it. So there are some kind of rules. I don't know if there's rules, but just some things people do. So sometimes when a transmission's gone over its changing intervals, some people may not change the filter. They may just drain it and refill it. That's okay, but I feel like doing that would be different after you change the filter, because draining and refilling it, all it's really doing, and I get why, because basically whatever is holding any gunk and stuff in between the transmission, making it work properly, could come loose after you're changing everything out with new filter, new fluid. I totally get it, but I do feel like it's a lot more better to go ahead and change the filter, get some of that old contamination stuff out, let it run its interval, you know, change it at the proper time when it's supposed to be changed, and it should be good. So what we're going to do is, when we put the transmission fluid in, we're going to add an additive just to help it. I'm going to add a Lucas transmission additive just to make sure everything kind of holds together. And to give a couple of tips. So you can do this two ways of draining this. You can drain it cold like I'm doing right now, or you can drain it hot. Now what I mean is that you can, to get more fluid out, you can run this a little bit more warmer, not super hot, but enough that you could drive it around for a few minutes and then come back in and drain it. What that does is it gets the oil a little bit more thinner, and then you can get more fluid out. But since we're going to drop the pan and do all that stuff, we're going to get most of that fluid out anyway. But it does help if you are trying to do like maybe a drain and refill. You could get the oil a little hot, and then that gets it more liquidy, and then it can come out a lot more. The same rule you can do on an oil. Some people don't realize that if you actually get your oil a little hot, just a little bit hot, not burning your hand, but if you get it enough to be a little bit warm and be a little bit more thinner, you can get more of that oil out instead of it just being kind of thick and getting whatever just comes out of the drain plug or the filter. So you can get a lot more fluid if you heat it up. So just a rule of thumb, you don't have to do that, but it just helps get more of the oil out if you wanted to get all of it. Every inch that you can get, that's the way you could do it on the transmission or the oil. But right now we're gonna wait for this to drain completely, and then we'll come back and we'll start taking off the cover. Okay guys, so we can sit here and wait till the cows come home to get this thing to drip out. The only reason why it's taking forever is because there's still fluid over here, and it's only getting some, so we're not getting all of it out. So what we're gonna do right now, we're just gonna plug it, and we'll get the rest out when we undo it with the screws. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cinch this back up. So I'm gonna get that on there. I'm just gonna snug it up just a little bit. I'm not gonna like torque tighten it or anything. Just to keep the fluid from flowing out. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get all these bolts off. They're 10 millimeters, and as you can see, if you can see it or not, right. Trying to see if my camera will pull it up. There it is, right there, 10 millimeter, just so you guys know that I'm actually using a 10 millimeter. And we're gonna go ahead and just start loosening these all up. So I already kind of started just to make sure that they were gonna come off. So I might go get my power tools to get these off, just to make life a little easier. But I want to make sure that they're gonna come off by the wrench, because I don't want these to snap. I want these to go back on. So they seem to be coming off pretty good. I probably could go ahead and switch it to the power tool just to make this go faster. They are coming off pretty well. But I want these to be loose. So, let's see if you guys can see what I'm doing here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go get my power tool in a sec, because this might take forever to get these loosened, and the power tool will help out. So let me go get my power tool. All right, guys, we're gonna do our power tool. Let's get this first one, just see where it goes. Okay, the other way. All right, this may take a while because we're gonna try to get them all off exactly. So nice and easy. Alright, looks like someone used some blue Loctite on these. Looks like it. Something blue. They're all the same size, looks like it. Yeah, they're looking like that. Very short screws too. Here, let's get the sides. I'll try to move this over so I can have some room. Like I said, they're pretty easy to get with a power tool. Alrighty, coming along. Got one here that's in a little bit of a tight spot, but I think I can still get it. Oh, hold on. We'll come back to that one. I'm gonna leave these two in the back kind of loosened a little bit, but not off, because we do need some holding. I don't want to take it completely off. All right, I think there's like two more in the front here. Sorry about that. I kind of got a little carried away. right, one more bolt. Just need to get around this plastic piece here. Alrighty. Alright, so now we got them all off. So now I'm going to put this oil pan back over it, and we're going to go get our pry tool. So let me go get that. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to peel this off as easy as we can, because this will start to leak form. So we're going to try and grab a corner. So I'm going to grab this corner. I'm going to use this little plastic tool. I'm going to grab this corner right here. So just because you don't want to ruin it. So I figure with something plasticky, it would make life a little easier and I wouldn't damage it. I'll probably damage this before I damage the cover. At least that's the idea. So, all right. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to get something a little bit more umphy then. Oh, never mind. We got it. We got it. We got it. All right, so then I just go on the other end. There we go. Perfect. Perfecto. Wow, I got that out without even an issue. Sweet, sweet, sweet. How cool is that? Get some of this extra fluid out of here. All right. Now we get the cover off. Set this to the side for a sec. Take a look at you later. Whew. That wasn't too bad. I actually thought it was going to be a lot worse. All right, so as now you can see, we can get to the whole entire thing. We'll let that drip. This is the oil filter right here. There's a dipstick, as you can see. We probably pull that back out just to make sure we don't hit that and break it when we get the cover back on. So there it is right there. Don't want that to actually leak on over there. All right, and then as you see right here, here's the oil filter. There's 3 nuts holding it on. We got to take those off. I think they're 10s again. And then we can get the whole entire thing off. So let's see if this is a 10 or an 8. Oh, it's a 10. Cool. All right, so all right, so while this is dripping and draining, we're gonna go ahead and get this off. Like I said, it's a 10, so really quite simple. These should be easy because they've been sitting in oil. They should be easy to come off. Try to hold it so they don't fall into the oil. We'll leave that loose a little bit so we can get these 2 off here. All right, let me change over. Just using my fingers. All right, these are long bolts. As you can see, they're pretty long. Another long one. Looks to be the same. And then we'll get this last one here. All right. Yep, they're all the same. All right, so now we got them off. Now we're going to go ahead and pull this cover. It should be just come right down. It's going to be snugged in there, but that's fine. There it goes. And there's more oil. A lot more oil. Okay. We'll just leave that. We'll leave that sitting in there. No big deal. All right, we got a lot more oil coming out, so that's fine. We'll let that drip and drain. All right. Got a little bit of runaway oil here. We're going to come back later and we're going to get some paper towels and dampen this up. So what we're going to do right now is let this drain. I'm going to pull this dipstick out, and then we'll go ahead and start messing with the oil pan while it's, while we letting this drip. Also, before we finish, where is my stuff at? Oh, there is. I don't know if you can see this or not, but before you install the new one, there's a gasket right in here. I actually can see it. It's actually right here. Make sure you get that out, because if you put that in with the new one, you're going to have some leaking issues. It won't leak out of the pan, but it won't go into the filter either. So make sure you yank this out, because we got a new one for that. And then that's it. We'll just throw that in the water and then the oil. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that just drip, and we're going to go work on the oil pan. Okay, guys. So we're going to work on the oil pan while we're waiting. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these, there's magnets. There's one here, here, and here. So they just slide right off, as you see. You can see they're going to have a little sludge, a little metal here. Don't see any deposits or anything. Looks like a pretty good normal dirty transmission. But we're going to wipe these clean. Like so. Let's get all the dirt and grime off of it. And that's what it actually looks like in the end. So we'll set that on here. I got 3 of them. Not too bad. Just got some metal sludge from how long? So no big deal. Looks pretty good though. I don't see any metal deposits or anything like that. So don't see no chunks in the bottom of the oil pan, which is good. I think it just needs a general change, a filter and oil change. And I think we should be good. All right. But yeah, I don't see any in the bottom. And then these little speckles, that's just from the cracking open the pan. That's not a big deal there. So I'm gonna clean these up. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set them to the side. I just put them over here on my thing. So now we got that. Now let me go get the filter just to make sure that we're consistent before I crack that off. Or the gasket. Just wanna eyeball it, make sure that it's good, and it does look like it's good. Looks like we got a nice, good, solid piece here. Always make sure you do that before you take off the old one. Obviously, I wouldn't reuse the old one, but in a pinch, if you didn't have this or this ripped or broke, you could kind of reuse this. I would say wipe off some of the crud a little bit, leave a little bit of oil, like a film, just a little bit of oil so it can seal, and then you should be good to go. But since these are not reusable, like if it was a metal one, I would say reuse it. But you don't want to take a chance on using this and there's a nice good fine hairline crack that you don't see, and then when you retighten it back up, it could crack and allow some fluid to go through. So it's just better to make sure that you got the right one. But in a pinch, if something did happen to this, if this looks pretty good, you could kind of reuse this. So don't feel like you can't reuse it. You could. I would only reuse it in a pinch. I would not reuse it if you have a really good new one. use a new one, get a better seal, you'd be good to go. But like I said, if you couldn't get a seal, or they didn't make it anymore, or the new one got destroyed or something like that, and this one wasn't destroyed, then I would say in a pinch, go ahead and reuse that. So since we're good, we're gonna go ahead and pull off this. So we're just gonna reuse the same little plastic tool and to get out from under this thing. Hopefully it doesn't rip, because then if it's a nice good peel off, then we'll be good. So nice and good here. It's coming off nice and easy. I don't want to rip it, because then I don't have to scrape it all off. All right. Awesome. There's the old one. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Cool. So that's nice and perfect. It didn't rip. I don't have to scrape any off. Just do a nice little good wipe, and we're good to go. So now I'm going to go and wipe all this out and get it all nice and clean. And then when we come back, we'll get back under there, damp it, get some of the extra fluid off, and then start getting the new ones back on. So let me get this all wiped out, and then we should be good to go. Actually, before I say that, to clean it out, you can use in just about anything. You can use brake cleaner. You can use a carburetor cleaner. You can use whatever you need to use. So to clean this out, or you can just paper towel it if you want to. This isn't super dirty. Some people have washers. That works really great too. But me, I'm just gonna it looks really good, so I'm just gonna grab some paper towels and just wipe it on out. And then whatever's left, I'll use I got some carburetor cleaner. I don't got any brake cleaner. But yeah, we're just gonna wipe this out. So nice and good here. I mean, look how clean it is. There's no debris in it at all. It's just the regular wear and tear of the metal, and it got collected in 3 places, and it's good. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and get some more paper towels and get this all clean. Okay, guys, we're just gonna wipe this all out. Really quite simple. There's not a whole lot of grime. It was actually really clean. I was actually surprised. I was actually expecting to see some metal flakes and shavings in there or anything. Nothing. Perfectly fine. I mean, look how easy this is wiping out. This is actually so good, I don't even need to use this. It's actually wiping out super good. Now, don't take that as this is what's mine going to be. You have to just check and see if your pan is actually got some grime and stuff, and you may have to wash it. Some people stick it in the washer. That's perfectly fine if you got one of those. Not everybody has a solvent washer or a steam washer like a dishwasher, but I'm gonna just wiping it out is working 10 times better than anything. So for me, I'm satisfied with this, just wiping it out by hand. So all right, so now that we got that nice and clean, as you can see, it is nice and clean. I mean, look at that, it's beautiful. And then we're gonna take our metal, just wipe it off again one last second time, just to make sure it's completely. And then there's different spots. There's different spots. There's one here, and one here. So make sure you put them in their right orientation or where they need to go. One goes there. One went there. And the other one goes right there. Boom. Done. Everything is good to go. This pan is... Oops, sorry. Let's move that. This pan's ready to go. Maybe I didn't wipe them off good enough. Maybe I didn't wipe them off good enough. They are magnets. Yeah, I didn't wipe them off on the sides good enough. No problem. We can take care of that. All right. Now we're good. Then we're just gonna get the oil out of here. Nice and good. All right, we're pretty good to go. Get some of this excess. Just trying to make sure it's all nice and clean. And I keep moving this magnet here. All right, let's set this to the side because we're good. All right, that gets set to the side. Now let's go. Okay, guys. So before we get to that, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and get this ring over it, so it goes simply just like that. But I'm gonna get a little dab of oil just to make it go easy. So I'm just gonna get this thing all oiled up really quick. Just a little bit of oil, nothing crazy. Just a little bit to make it snug over it a little bit easier. So I'm just gonna dip my finger in a little bit of oil, and then boom. Oops, spoke too soon. And there we go. So now that's on there because we're gonna need that for later. So we're gonna set this to the side, and then now we're gonna get up under there, and now we're gonna go ahead and dab up all the oil. So just set this right here, and let's go under the car. Okay, guys. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean this up real quick. We're gonna dab all this oil up. Get this all nice and dabbed real quick, and then go from there. Get some of this drippage out. I'm not gonna like get all the oil out, but we're gonna get a little bit of it. Clean out this area here, just so it makes a nice good area for the new. Just dabbing everything. I'm not trying to. I'm not gonna spray with brake cleaner or anything like that. It's not that serious. I think just dabbing it up and getting some of the excess oil that's dripping out is a lot more better than just not doing anything at all. Some people would go and clean it with some brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner or whatever. I'm not gonna do that. I think just dabbing it is just fine. Trying to get around all the edges here, all this crud and stuff, so that way when we put the new gasket on, we'll be good to go. That's pretty good. You don't have to get too crazy with it. Just dabbing it, getting all the excess oil is good enough, guys. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put this Now we're gonna go ahead and put the filter back on. So it's really quite simple. Oh, actually. Hold on. I apologize, guys. I told you the wrong way. I I said put the gasket on here. That's my bad. It actually goes on this side, the plastic side. My fault. I'm totally sorry about that. So got the plastic ring or the O-ring on here. Now we're gonna install it. So just get it in the hole. Nice and snug. Then take our bolts. Get our other... Oh, that wasn't a good idea. So let me do one bolt at a time. Do one bolt at a time, guys. So that way you can get it started before they fall in, just like that last one just did. And then we'll get this other one in here. Now I'm gonna go fish for the other one. I got it. Hold on, let me clean this off real quick. Alright guys, so we got this on. Just another 10mm bolts. Goes in 3 places. So I'm gonna get some more fluid. Has dripped out more. So we're gonna try and get this all taken care of, because now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get this oil pan cover on. So I want to get all this area completely cleaned. I think we can go ahead and get this pan out of the way, make it more easier for us to go ahead and get the stuff on here, make it life a lot easier. Alright, so I got everything all nice and cleaned up. There's an oil filling dropping off right here. We'll get this cleaned up once we get the cover on it, but I want to try and get some of this wiped off before the fluid starts dripping down. So let me go ahead and get the oil pan. Alright guys, so this is going to be a tricky trick because this cork stuff is not exactly sitting right, but we'll figure this out. I'm trying to hurry because this fluid keeps wanting to spew out faster than I can get to it. So what I'm going to try to do is we're going to try and get this situated real quick. So bear with me a moment. I'm trying to get this piece all situated right of where it's supposed to go. Okay. Okay. Alright. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out this orientation of this thing. And there's a lot of oil that's coming off this back end here that's kind of not helping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bolt started with the gasket through. Hopefully this will work. I don't know, but we're going to give it a shot. Hold on a sec. Okay, hold on. Let me, hold on. We're going to get some tape. We're going to do this the right way. Hold on a sec. Okay, guys. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to use some painter's tape. It's not going to hold, which is what I want. I just want it to just to snug hold until I can get this bolted. So I got tape here, 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 and here. And I may not have to do that, but it's just because this gasket's so new that it's not sitting on there and won't let me get everything kind of cinched up right. So I got it kind of somewhat secure. It's gonna fall apart, but that's fine. I don't want it to be super secure. I just want it to be enough so that I can get it on there. So now let's go and get this back under and back bolted. Okay guys, we're gonna try this again. We're gonna try and get this thing bolted as fast as we can, as best as we can. So if I don't show you everything, please forgive me. I'm trying my best to get this on here before it starts leaking on me. So we're gonna try this again. So I got some holes lined up. I'm gonna start getting some bolts started. So the issue is that the fact is that getting these bolts in is not exactly easy because one, they're short. There we go. Okay. So you want to make sure you get in the corks where you need them, so that way they're in there. So I gotta be nice and firm with it. All right, that's pretty good. So we're gonna take this tape off. All right, there's one. There's two. All right, there's three. And then there's one more over here. Good. All right, we're good now. That was a pain because I was trying to get it all in there. So now we can go ahead and just get all the bolts in where we need to get them in. And just push up on the pan, and we're just going to get them all in there before we start tightening them all up. Get all these bolts, they're all the same, so just getting them back in there. All right. All right. So we're going to keep going with this. Get them all in here. Just take your time. They're really short screws, so just get them. Make sure that they're going in between the cork. They should be. But just to make sure they go in the way that you want them to. If they don't go in tight with your hand or there's some kind of a hold up, then recheck them again. Make sure that there's no binding or anything or cross threading, because you do not want to do that on these. So get them in with your finger, get them lined up, get them in the hole, get them in the threads, get them in and go to the next one.
It may take you a little bit, but at least you're getting them in there. I think now I'm going to go ahead and use the actual screw thing. I'm not using the impact just yet. I'm just trying to get them started. Okay, see, stuff like this is the problem. So you gotta push the pan up so you can get the screws started. So once you get them started, you're good. And then you just keep on going. Keep on getting them in the holes and get them started. Alright. I think I got them all up here. Yep, all up there. Let's get this side here. Alright. It's a little tedious doing it by hand, but at least I know that I won't strip these because, like I said, they're very, very short screws. But once you get them started, they hold. So I guess it's just this bottom row here to get going, and we can cinch them all up with the wrench. Almost there. I gotta push the pan up to get them to get started, and then I can kind of let them go after that. All right. I got 2 more screws. 1 more screw. Of course, I actually have to wait for save it for the hardest one. Alright, last one. Oops. No, not anymore. We can pop that back in, not a big deal. Yeah, it's just a popper, not a big deal. Okay. Alright guys, so now we're going to hand tighten these with the wrench. There's no, I don't think there's a sequence. Some people will probably just go all the way around, but I'm going to kind of do the crossing kind of thing in my own way. So, you know, start here, there, get all your crossings. But right now we're going to go ahead and cinch this up. Then I'm going to go into this corner. Alright, let's start from this corner. You do it however you want to do it, as long as you get it kind of cinching in the right type of sequence. Alright, there. I'm going to come over here. Here. I'm going to go from here, this corner here. I'm going to go to this corner here. Alright, and then we're going to go to this corner here. And then go to this corner here. Just do your crisscross. You don't have to do it this way. You can do it however you want, as long as you get it evenly cinched up. That's what the goal is. So get this one here. Get this one here. Right now I'm just snugging them. And then we'll get this one here. And then this one here. Whew. It's very tiring. But at least I know that I'm gonna get them all nice and cinched up. So all right. Whew. Strong will. All right, we're getting there. My hands are cramping, but we're getting there. Alrighty. Alright, so I'm gonna wipe this backside off here, because this is where most of the oil was coming out of, because of the was leaking on this back end here, and it's kind of dripping off on this transaxle. But I really wanted to get this side cinched up, because this is where most of the oil is coming from. All the rest of the sides, there's no oil coming from except for this part right here. So we already got that cinched up. And then last two is these sides here. All right. My hands are killing me, but we're getting there. Then we got one more right here. All right. Let me rest my hands for a minute, because they are burning. All right, so try to wipe some of this excess stuff here, and then we're gonna get the torque wrench. So the torque ring for this is, I think, is 13 foot-pounds, which is not a heck of a whole lot, surprisingly. I could probably torque that with my hand, but yeah, it's 13 foot-pounds, which is not a whole lot. I think I do have a baby one, so I'm gonna go see if I can find my baby one, and then we'll go from there. So let's let this sit for a second, nice and squeezed, and then we'll go ahead and start torquing it up. So let me go see if I can find my torque wrench. If not, we'll just do it by hand. So I did find my torque wrench, but I'm kind of scared I don't want to ruin these nuts. So since 12 foot-pounds is not 13 foot-pounds is not a whole lot, I could do that with my hand. We're gonna go ahead and just do it with my hand. So that's what we're pretty much gonna do. I do have a torque wrench with it, but I feel like doing it with my hand would be more secure. I'm a little worried that I'm gonna break these bolts. So we will do it by hand. We'll just tighten them up as best as we can, all the way around. I feel like I can't break it with my hand. I can't over tighten it with my hand. So that's what we're gonna do. I trust my hand more than I trust that wrench, because that wrench will definitely over torque them, and then I'll end up either one, breaking it, or two, warping the pan. So I'm just gonna do it by hand, get it super cinched and tight, and once I hit the stopping point where I can't turn it anymore, that's where I'll stop. I'm just going to do that all the way around this pan. Just going to tighten it as tight as my hand will let me tighten it, and then that's it. Because if I feel like, because that torque wrench is super, super torquey, and I really think I'm gonna break something, and I really don't feel like breaking anything today. I've got everything's going so good. Beggars can be choosers. If you want to use a torque wrench, use a torque wrench, but 12 foot-pounds is not a whole lot. If you're a strong, girthy person like I am, I can pretty much make 13 foot-pounds just by torquing it with my hand. So it may hurt later, but I'd rather hurt later than break something and cry later trying to get it out or have to replace it. Because once you break these bolts in here, it's not a pan, it's in the actual transmission. So if you ever have a leak, guess what? That's where your leak's coming from. So I'm not taking that chance. I'm gonna do the legit street cars click. Click. It's really not that much torque, guys. Really and honestly, it isn't. All right. Whew. All right. I apologize for that. My kids are not listening to mommy. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a good here. So everything is nice and cinched and tight. Everything looks good. There's only one thing left I need to do. We're just gonna tight torque this this little thing here. Make sure it's actually tight. All right, we're good. All right, we are all good to go, y'all. Now all we gotta do is lower it down and start filling it full of transmission fluid. So let us go ahead and get this all down. I just want to make sure it's not leaking anymore fluid out of here. Looks pretty good. So I think we're all right. Well, I think we're all right. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Everything looks good. Everything looks nice and tight. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing off and on the ground. Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and pour this oil in. I'm gonna use this Lucas stuff first. It is a oil additive, so I'm actually going to crack this real quick. All right, so we're gonna shove it down the hole first. Oh, overflow. Wow, really? Okay. So we're gonna hold this above its head because evidently it doesn't like to just be filled in there. I tried to get it warm as I could, but it didn't actually work too great. So we're gonna let this ooze down the hole. I tried to warm it up, but it didn't stay warm for very long. While that's doing that, let me get a rag to get up some of this excess. It's gonna fall down to the ground. Okay. So I wanted to spray some of this in here just to get some goop in there to help with the shifting. Since it does almost having 200,000 miles on it,
thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and pour some of this in. And I've had it on the shelf for not for a while, but I've had it on there. I used it on the my last vehicle, adding some in there. So actually, I think I added this into the Escape the last time. So yeah, we're just gonna get as much as in there as we can get. It wasn't that much left in there. I think this is like a good amount. Alright, I think that's pretty much good. We're gonna go ahead and do some fluid. Alright, we might add some more of this back in a little bit later. But for right now, we're gonna add some fluid to it as well as this stuff. So clean this area up. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add this fluid in ever so slowly. This hole is not exactly big, so we're going to add just enough to get it up so we can get the car to start, so we can start the car. So let's see what this does with just this first pour. Yep. This hole is not very big, so I'm gonna have to pressure hold it. I'm making a mess all over the place too when I'm doing it. Getting transmission fluid all over the place because of this stupid thing. This jug is not exactly easy to pour, and that hole is not very big, so be mindful of that. That hole is not very big. It does not take fluid very well. I'm surprised. So I'm wasting more of it than I'm actually getting it where I needed to get it. So alright, let's try this again. I'm going to try it from the side this time. I got that thing nice and tight, so we're going to try it from the side. There we go. That's a lot more better than what I was trying to do. Alright, let's stop right there. See where we're at. Alright, let's get to the 2.5 and then we'll stop and check it. Here, let me sit down real quick. Alright, just a little bit more, then we're at the 2.5. Alright, we're at the 2.5. So now what we're going to do is we're going to check this level, see if it's in the middle between the see if it's in the middle of the stick. So here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this thing will focus. I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to get it, there we go, we're trying to get it right here in the middle. I don't want it to be hot just yet. I want it, when I dip it down, I want it to be like right in the middle so we can at least get it started. Then we can run some fluid. We can get it running through the gears, get it warmed up. Then we can check it. So let's check and see where it's at. Ooh, okay. I might have too much in there. Well, we still have some hanging up in the into the thing, so let's try that again. Probably pouring that goo in there probably wasn't good yet. Okay, so I kind of can't tell. So let us start it, and then we'll start it up and see what we get out of it, because there's still fluid in there and it's in the tube and it's rubbing against it, and I kind of can't tell exactly where it is. It looks like it's on the hot side, so we might be okay, but we're going to try and let some fluid flow through it, and then we'll check it just to make sure. So let's go ahead and start this up and see where we get once we get everything kind of flowing, because then that's when you really can add it, is when it's getting nice and hot. I just wanted to get some in there just to kind of get it on the tip of the, or get it in the middle of the stick, but I think I actually got it into the hot, so I think we're okay, because some fluid's going to get sucked in, it's going to get sucked down. We'll fill it up while it's running. Going through the gears. So now we're going to just let it warm up, kind of see what we're going to do, and then we're going to check the fluid, check the levels, and then we'll go from there. So it should have gone down now, but there's still some fluid in the tube, so we may have to recheck this again. I'm not for sure how this is going to work, but we'll wait till it gets all nice and warmed up, and then we'll definitely check it and go from there. Alright guys, we've been letting this run for a little bit, going through the gears. I added just a little bit more, and I think we're there. I think we're at the hot, but I kind of can't tell because of this tube is so thin or so small that some of the residue from the fluid is still on the wall, and I kind of can't tell. But from the looks of it, I think I might be either at the tip or I'm at the hot, and I don't really know. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go take it for a spin, see if I can get it to cycle through, and then we'll pull over and check it and go from there. So let's still take this for a spin and we'll figure it out. I'm not quite for sure which way it is. I could probably look it up to figure it out, but where it's sitting at right now I think is a perfectly good set, because it's either right on the money or it's not enough. So we're going to find out. I'm going to do some looking to make sure I did it right. I think I did do it right. Going through the gears is what you really want, because that's what gets the fluid to where it needs to be, and then you check your reading. So with me doing that, going through the gears and checking my reading, it's right at hot. But when I don't check it and leave it idling and put it down in there and check it, it's kind of just touching the stick. So I'm not for sure, does it need to be right at hot when it's sitting idling, or because I feel like if I go through the gears with the way it sits right now, it'd be too full. So there's that give and take kind of thing. I really don't know. So I'm gonna check and make sure that I'm doing it right, and maybe look at the manual and see if I'm hitting where I need to be hitting it. And then we're gonna drive this home, and then we're gonna check it again and to make sure that we're all good. If we need to add some more, we'll add some more, and then we'll go from there. So let me check the manual, and I'm gonna get home, and then we're gonna see where we're at. All right, guys. So now we're gonna check it again. I feel like I still need to add some. Here, let me go through the gears again.
check it again and see. Alright, according to this, looking at it from the front and the back side, it looks like it's is that where it needs to be. It's right a little bit above the hot. Just a little bit above. Might have added a little bit too much in there. But then let me check it now that I wiped it off. Looks like it's just down there on the stick. I don't know, man. I think we're good. I think we're good, though. I think we're okay, because when I check it, when I do the normal gearing and checking it, it seems like it's right where it needs to be. But then wiping it and then checking it again, it's like gone. So I don't want to add too much more. It seems to be shifting perfectly fine, no problem. So what we may do is let it do its little run through cycle, let her drive it for maybe about a week, and then I'll recheck it. And then if it's low, then we'll add some more. If it's right on the money, then we'll leave it alone. But the thing does say it's supposed to be right between hot. And when I go through the gearing and check it, it is right where it's supposed to be. It's a little bit high. It's actually a little bit past that, but that's where it's at. So I'm not going to add anymore. I'm going to leave it where it is, and I'm going to call it a good. I'm going to let her drive it for a little while, a week, and then I'll check it.
Check it does, and I did read the manual. The manual does say it's supposed to be when you have it in park and you go through the gears, you go like 3 seconds in every single gear. The level is supposed to be right between the two divots of hot, right in the middle. Mine's a little bit past the second one, so it's a little over full, but I think it'll be okay. So I don't want to fill any more, because when I wipe it and then check it, there's nothing on the stick. Or it's not really a good accurate. But then when I check it, when I go through the gears again and then do it, it does show me it's right at hot. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let her drive it for a week. Then I'm going to go back and recheck it again, make sure that maybe it's gotten through all the gears and running it through. It probably would have been a good idea to do what I said, which was basically let it run hot and then drain it, because I think all the fluid would have came out, all the dirty fluid. So now I got this kind of mixture of red and black mixed together, because there was still some of that extra stuff in there that hadn't been changed. So what we probably will do is do a maybe a drain refill. So basically what we would do is we'd get it hot, we would take off the plug, and then we let all the fluid drain out, and then we would put it back on there and then refill it back up with some more red fluid. That would get all that blackness out, and then come in with some fresh fluid. We could do that. That's not a bad idea. We wouldn't change the filter because the filter's still pretty new. So I may do that theory of letting her drive it for a little bit. And then what we'll do is we'll drain it. Then we'll refill it with some new clean fluid, get all that blackness out, so then all we see is nothing but red. So I may do a video on that. If you guys want to see a video on that, please let me know. Say yes, I want to see a video of you changing it and making it red again. That would be good. I'll do that. If not, I'll just do it on my own, and then I may do a short or something like that. But yeah, it's running good. It shifts fine. It doesn't feel like it's overflowed, and it's not like it's like I filled it too much. I did it perfectly right. It is where it's supposed to be, so I'm super happy with that. Yeah, it's really good. It's really simple, really easy to do. I was a little worried, but then when I saw the pan and I didn't see no metal flakes in there or nothing that was nothing different than the ordinary wear and tear, I knew that was going to be a good. So placing the filter, putting it with some fresh fluid, that seemed to work. But we do need to let it cycle through, get some of that old fluid out of there into the bottom, drain it one more time, like I was saying, drain it one more time, and then we'll put some fresh ones in there, and it should be all red. And then that should be good for a good while. But guys, that is pretty much it. I hope I gave you enough information on it. It's really running okay with the transmission. It shifts fine, goes through the gears perfectly fine. It's an older vehicle, so it's got its little quirks and knocks and noises, but we're working on getting it back to fully running, and it's fully running now, but just maintenance wise. So we still got a little ways to go on a few things, but getting the major stuff to keep her on the road so she can drive it to work and wherever she needs to go is the key, and not have it any worrying. But yeah, that was pretty simple. It actually wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Everything seems to be good. There's no leaks. I checked under there and I didn't see any leaks leaking. Everything's nice and good. I may go back under there and just make sure all the bolts are nice and tight. That's a good idea. Later down the road, once it gets all nice and sealed, if you want to just make sure they're just nice and tight, they ain't working way loose, that's perfectly fine, because I did hand tighten them as much as I can with my own strength. Like I said, 12 or 13 foot-pounds is not a lot. So if you have a torque wrench that works it and it does do fine, that's fine. But I'm pretty strong, so I can do a 13 to 12 foot-pounds, no problem. So like I said, we'll just let it run for a while, let her drive it, and then I'll recheck it, make sure everything's good, and go from there. But guys, I really do appreciate you guys liking these videos, and please, if you guys have not followed me, please follow me. I seem to have a lot more people who just look at my videos and actually follow me, so I really would be great if you guys would, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. I really like listening to your comments, whether they're good or bad. I get some bad ones too, but I also get some good ones as well. I can't please everybody, but I do my best to do what I can do. But guys, I thank you so much for watching, and I really do appreciate all the love and support. Like I said, if you guys like this, please give me a comment. Let me know it was a good video. Make sure it was good information for you guys to help you out on your vehicle, whether it be a Pontiac Vibe or a Toyota Matrix. But guys, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a good and blessed day, and I'm going to see you in the next fix. Until then, peace.